As California's chief law enforcement officer, I mean, you have a real complexity to your job, making sure the civil rights of everyone is protected. Just tell me about these dynamics that you've had to face, especially, we've had Stop Asian Hate, we've Black Lives Matter, there's been a number of things that you've had to confront in recent years. Tell me about how you're able to coalesce what is a very diverse community.
Yeah, well, first say in California, diversity is our strength. It's our story. It's something that makes us great and strong. Here in California, we embrace diversity. We don't just tolerate it. And it's our X factor and our special sauce that has made us great. And part of that is protecting all of our community members, regardless of where they're from, how they look, who they love, how they pray, and making sure that they are safe and protected. And combating discrimination, fighting back against hate is a critical part of what we do, and we will continue to do that. And unfortunately, we've seen rises in hate against the API community. We've seen rises in hate against the Jewish community, against the LGBTQ plus community. And unfortunately, hate will be a part of what we continue to have to combat. And we stand firm and strong against it, and want to make sure that all of our community members know that they are safe and that they belong.
Now, Indian Americans in particular have been kind of a micro-minority for many years, but it's exploded in growth in recent years. Recently, though, there's been a lot of targeting of community venues here in San Francisco. The consulate where we are right now was at a different venue because that venue had been targeted twice with arson attempts. Yeah. We've had Hindu temples, even just today in Southern California, in Chino Hills. There was a vandalism attack that's happened repeatedly throughout the state. Gandhi statues vandalized. What can be done? Because obviously this is of grave concern to many South Asians.
It's not acceptable, and it can't be tolerated. People deserve peace. They deserve safety. They deserve the ability to exercise their constitutional rights, freedom of expression, free speech, freedom to adhere to the religion of their choice. And that's what makes this country what it is. Those are rights that are immovable and that must be protected and honored. And of course, we see violations of rights. And it's important, first, that we educate and empower so that folks know what the rights are, what they must honor, and that we hold people accountable when they break the law. So my office, our law enforcement partners across the state, have been tackling hate crimes, been working together to uplift our communities, make sure that they feel and are safe. And for folks who violate the law and harm others break our social compact in the process, we'll hold them accountable.
And we're here at this new consulate that was opened up in response to the vandalism and the attacks at the previous consulates. Have you had a discussion with the CG, with the Indian government about the status of those investigations where there were 10 persons of interest in the first arson attempt, no suspect information has been released on the second arson attempt? We happen to break that story, so it became a global incident. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm curious about, is there an update? Because we haven't heard enough from San Francisco police or the federal authorities.
Sometimes the investigations are confidential as they move forward. That's definitely true of our office. We don't comment on pending or potential investigations. When there's something to announce, we announce it. I think it's important that you know that that people care, that they're looking, that they're committed to holding people accountable. But I know it's frustrating when the public can't get regular updates, and unfortunately part of the criminal investigative process is to have confidentiality until there's something that we can make public. So we will always reach out to our law enforcement partners. I had many members of the Indian American community, the broader community, reach out to me about the incidents that you've discussed. We always are in contact and constant communication and monitor what our local law enforcement partners are doing. Sometimes we participate, sometimes we're available if needed. But please know that this is an issue of priority. It's not something that will be tolerated, that's acceptable or will be accepted. And it might not be right today when something is announced, but folks will be held accountable when they break the law.
And for those folks who are upset that these episodes continue to happen, despite obviously your best intention to prosecute people who do this, I mean, what do you have to say to these folks who are, obviously visibly shaken by what's been taking place?
Yeah, I want them to know that the chief law enforcement officer of the state of California, me, supports you, supports your community. You deserve to be safe, not to be attacked or targeted. And those folks who are attacking you, targeting you, should be and will be held accountable. I understand the frustration, and especially when you're being victimized, exploited, targeted, hurt, harmed. And that's where we come in to use our law enforcement resources to protect you and defend you. And we're committed to that, and we'll work with our local law enforcement partners to ensure that happens.